Hi, Gail. Thank you so much for meeting me today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Awesome. So for those who may not have had the pleasure, this is Gayle Uyagaqi Kabloona, and we're so happy to be welcoming you to our website to be selling some of your work. I just kind of wanted to do this sort of impromptu interview just so that people could be aware of you, get to know you, be introduced to you and your work. So tell me a bit about yourself. You're based in Ottawa. Is that where you were born?
No, I was born when my family was living in Baker Lake. My mom flew to Winnipeg to give birth in the hospital there. And then I was raised in BC mostly, and I lived in Iqaluit for many years, and now I've lived in Ottawa for 3.5 years.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome. So just gonna jump right into it. What inspires you to make your artwork? And from what I know, you do primarily printmaking, which is the works that we're having available on our site. But where did you start, and what inspired you?
I started doing art mostly when I moved to Ottawa. I think there was a lot of opportunities for me to learn new mediums, and I was really excited to try new things. I did some printmaking courses at the Ottawa School of Art, and I learned how to do ceramics at Loam Clay Studio. And I think both of my like ceramic work and printmaking work kind of play off of each other. Like if there's a detail that I like in a mug that I'm making, I'll bring that into my printmaking. So there's some prints are of mugs and some mugs have like printmaking designs on them. And I love that I can do that.
That's super cool because there's a huge, obviously, a huge design element and creative element in both, and that makes a lot of sense that they would transfer. Do you have one that you prefer over the other? One medium?
Um, I really like that I can do printmaking at home. It's really relaxing and like I have my little setup in like one of the rooms in my apartment, and that's really nice just to be able to like carve at the coffee table. But sometimes it is also nice to get out of the house and go to the ceramic studio.
Definitely.
But yeah, I keep
Yeah,
all of the mud and the dust and stuff contained
true.
somewhat over there.
Yeah, we can't all have kilns in our living room, so I
Yeah.
guess that makes sense. Awesome. Do you have any sort of like dream projects that you're working towards, or anything that that you would love to make with either of the media, or both, or anything that you sort of
Um,
you'd love to do?
I've been experimenting with other mediums as well lately. I would like to work bigger. A lot of the things that I've made have been over the pandemic, and um, like the printmaking things that I use at home. Like I bought a beginner's kit at Wallach's in town. It's a art store, and like just started at my dining room table because I couldn't go out over the pandemic. And so a lot of the stuff I was, very like scaled down. But I would love to work bigger, and I'm getting an opportunity through. I have a residency at the Art Gallery of Guelph, where I'm working with a Inuit curator and doing something a little bit bigger that goes along with my grandmother and my great grandmother's work that they have in the collection there.
Wow. So you've got quite a family history of artists.
Yeah, definitely. My grandmother made this wall hanging, and I saw her doing a lot of different wall hangings, like when I would go to Baker Lake to visit my dad. And so she would be sewing like all of the appliques are all embroidered and then sewn onto a background. Um, and my great grandmother did some of the same kind of work, but they also did drawings and prints.
Wow. That's super,
Mm.
that's awesome. And I mean, this is a super vague question, and it might actually have a lot to do with what you just said, but one thing we like to ask is why art? Like, why does art matter to you? And I think I can infer from some of your answers that it provided a outlet during the pandemic and that it's clearly quite prevalent in your family, but be interested to see what you how you would answer that question.
I definitely think it's the most meaningful thing that I've done out of all of the jobs that I've done. It's like feels amazing to be able to just be myself and like connect with other people in a really authentic way, like not behind anything and not hiding. And I'm showing like exactly who I am, like through my art. And if it resonates with somebody, I feel like that we're already starting with some kind of a connection. And I also found it really nice to be able to bring my Inuit culture with me when I left Nunavut. I think a lot of Northerners might struggle with like finding the community or feeling at home in like as an urban Enoch. And I found that like art really helped me connect to other people who are in the same position as me as well.
Interesting. So it's a sort of personal expression, but also a conduit for connection for other people that you feel share a background, or maybe sort of introducing where you feel you're coming from to people who don't have that same shared experience.
Yes, exactly.
That's super, super interesting.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it
So
resonates with people who, yeah, have the same experience. And then if somebody's just learning about Inuit culture, it gives them a little stepping stone. And like I'm already answering some questions, I think,
yeah, and one thing I noticed in
ground
your work,
zero.
yeah, one thing I noticed in your work is you there's there's a depiction of your grandparents. There's something that also another work that I sort of assumed was a self portrait, not sure. And so it seems to be quite personal for you. So that totally makes sense in terms of it being sort of an inward expression of feelings and where you're coming from, like in the metaphorical and I guess also a more literal sense of that phrase. Um, that's awesome. That's really amazing. So one of the things we're super excited about, that I mean, I speak for myself and Emily, but I know we're both really excited about is that with these works we're going to be offering in multiple sizes. So some of them can be printed very large. So that's exciting for me. And you mentioned that you're looking to do something that's quite a larger scale. So I hope that you know the collectors who collect your work. I really hope that some are really interested in getting those larger sizes because I think that would be really really cool. And that's a common thing I hear among printmakers is that just based either on equipment or whatnot, they end up being quite small, and it's really exciting to see them on a large scale. So I'm really pleased that we're able to offer in the multiple sizes, and I hope to see someone take one of those large ones home and see what that looks like. I think it'll be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I would love to see them at a really big scale.
yeah, absolutely. I think that would be great. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time. I really hope that people watch this and get a sense of the sort of context behind your work and your practice and you. And I hope that we can offer these works and help sort of um, push along that goal of finding connection through your work that you seem to be aiming towards and that I think you're accomplishing. So I really appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.